If you truly want lasting weight loss results, one of the first things that you need to do is stop restricting calories. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, if you go onto the internet or somewhere like Amazon, type in weight loss, you'll get a billion different options, and almost every single one of them has something to do with restricting calories. Oh, go on a calorie restricted diet, reduce your calories, go on a calorie deficit, and all the rest of it, because the theory is when you reduce your calories below your metabolic rate, you will lose weight. And in the majority of cases, yes, this is true. You will lose some weight. But the problem is, what they don't always explain is what weight you lose. Yes, you might get some fat loss, but what tends to happen at the same time for the majority of us is we also lose lean mass. So that's bone density, muscle mass, water, etc. And as a result, obviously, if we're losing our lean mass, then our metabolic rate is reducing as well. So that's why when you're on these calorie restricted diets, sooner or later you get to a point where you plateau and the weight loss stops. And then you're like, oh shit, well, what do I do now? Restrict my calories even more? Or we need to start taking even more extreme approaches often with our training, where we might have been training 1 hour a day, now we've got to do 90 minutes a day, or then we've got to do 2 hours a day and all this type of shit. Because we keep damaging the metabolism to the point where it has to keep dropping so low that it becomes very, very difficult for us to actually lose weight. And then for many of us, unfortunately, we're not actually healthy anyway, even though we're overweight. Some of us might be healthy, but many of us also have other health conditions and health challenges, such as high blood pressure or blood sugar handling issues or cholesterol issues and certain things like this, pain, inflammation, etc. All things which disrupt our body's homeostatic balance and therefore make it much more challenging and sometimes even impossible for us to actually lose weight just by simply cutting calories. So obviously that's a problem. It's like, well, I'm trying to lose weight, but every time I lose weight and then try and go back to my original lifestyle, I gain all the weight back, or I gain all the health problems back, and so on. And the reason for that is because many of us are already nutrient deficient. Then obviously we restrict our calories, which puts us in, again, a nutrient deficit, because it's very hard to get adequate calories in when we're on a calorie restricted diet. So we continue to remain in this nutrient deficient state, which of course makes it very challenging for the body to maintain what we call homeostasis, or that point of balance, where it can then effectively burn fat because it's not threatened for its survival. Our physiology, unfortunately, only cares about our own survival, not what we look like. So therefore, if it feels threatened, fat loss is one of the last things that it cares about. It's trying to literally keep you alive and try and keep your physiology, your hormones, etc., all in balance, so that the body maintains some level of health and vitality, so that you can obviously stay alive. So what we need to do instead is nourish the body. When the body is well nourished and well taken care of, then weight loss tends to be very, very easy and pretty simple for most of us. So what we need to do, instead of going, all right, well, I need this calorie restricted diet, when it comes to nutrition, what we want to do instead is replace the calorie dense, nutrient deficient foods with nutrient dense foods. Now, these, of course, for many of you, you probably know, it's things like your meat, your fish, your dairy, eggs, nuts, seeds, legumes, vegetables, in some cases grains if you can tolerate them, and obviously fruits and things like that. So we want natural whole foods, ideally as close to the state that nature provides them, because that's where the nutrient content is going to be at its highest. Now, that's not me saying, oh, go and eat raw meat and all the rest of it. You know, majority of us are going to want to cook the meat, because that actually makes proteins and things in many cases more bioavailable to us. But we want them as close to as close to their natural state, as in minimally refined, minimally processed, because it's during refinement and in processing that most of the nutrient density is lost. And then in order to make them actually taste half okay, so that we don't just spit the shit out, they will add back in sugars, they will add back in shitty salts. When I say shitty salts, I'm referring to obviously sodium chloride, table salt, and things like that. And then they will add in additional fats and things, so that these processed foods actually taste good again. But they add in all these macronutrients without much of the micronutrient density that would have been there originally, and that's what makes it much harder for our body to actually process it and make efficient use of it. So stop restricting calories and instead remove that shit, remove the crap that you know you shouldn't be eating. So we're talking the processed cakes, the biscuits, processed meals and things like that. Anything that you know inherently you shouldn't be eating, then we want to remove that stuff and replace it with healthy, nutrient-dense foods such as meat, fish, veg, fruit, herbs, spices, etc. Those types of things. And of course, there are 1,000,001 different combinations that you can use in order to make healthy, tasty meals. And of course, I will be providing you guys with those as we go over the coming weeks and months, etc. But for now, literally focus on removing the bad stuff, replace with the good stuff that you inherently know is going to be more beneficial for you on a nutrient level basis. And you'll find that fat loss is much, much easier, along with any type of body transformation that it is you're going for. Whether it is just simply burning fat, or whether you're looking to get out of pain, or whether you're trying to build muscle, etc., or become more athletic. These things are much, much easier when the nutrient content within your diet is much higher and the processed, over-refined, calorie-dense shit is removed. Any question, guys, give me a shout, and if not, I shall see you in the next video. Take it easy.